Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Inner Healing Journey with Mandy May. So, this is a podcast created to inspire curiosity and to provide a space to explore our inner world, to question everything with openness, free from judgment, and in the pursuit of truth. So, together, we'll explore what it means to take responsibility for our own healing with that greater awareness. Because, my lovelies, self awareness is the key. So let's begin this journey together. Hello and welcome back to the Inner Healing Journey with Mandy May. So, in today's episode, we're exploring consciousness and awareness. So, we talked about awareness and what that means, but I wanted to touch on the consciousness. So, these are words that can sound really complicated or just deeply spiritual, but in simple terms, guys, consciousness is about awareness. It's about becoming aware of your thoughts, emotions, behaviors, beliefs, and the way that you move through life. I mean, for me, also consciousness is about that, of course, but it's also about what I call the universe, the all, the one. Some people call it God, or everybody has different sayings for what they believe any of this is. And I can only relate to it as consciousness because I relate consciousness to energy. And I believe that's what we are, energy in human form. I sometimes relate it to electricity, to be honest, because electricity to me is the same, it's energy. That's how I see consciousness. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, it's just how I see it. And I'm sure many of you will see it differently. But I just wanted to touch on how I see it so you have an understanding of where I'm coming from. So, obviously, some people understand consciousness in this way alone. They don't see it in any other way. Others believe consciousness is something much greater, which is what I've just talked about. So, the essence of who we truly are beneath, like the mind, the body, and everything like that. Um, so, I guess for most of us, we'd just call it universal consciousness, wouldn't we? Source, energy, pure awareness. It really matters not what we call it, is it? So it's just how we perceive it. But whatever your beliefs, both perspectives invite us to become just more aware. So for me, consciousness isn't about escaping the human experience or just pretending everything is love and light, because my stand on that. I do believe that there's, like I keep saying, there is um, a door for that. There is a way for that. There is a need for that. But not everything is love and light for me. So we have to be real in the world that we're living in. So, in fact, becoming more conscious for me often means becoming aware of the parts of ourselves that we've ignored, avoided, or not even questioned before. It's what I call the program. So, let's explore that together. So, many of us spend much of our lives on autopilot. We know this, don't we? And sometimes it takes us a while to step back and understand that actually I am on bloody autopilot because we come from a subconscious energy. So we may wake up, follow routines, think familiar thoughts, react to situations, and repeat patterns over and over and over again. And we never question them. And when you're on this journey, that's something you start to do. You start to recognize what you're doing. You start to recognize those patterns, and that this has just got to be like, there's got to be more to this than this. And you start questioning stuff, which is brilliant. I'm going to ask you: have you ever reacted strongly to something and later just wondered why? Why have I reacted that way? Perhaps someone criticised you and you felt hurt, angry, defensive, or upset. God knows I've been in those situations many, many times. And often it's not the situation itself that's causing the reaction. To be honest, it's just touching on like an old wound or a belief or a story that just exists within us. So consciousness invites us to pause and ask. Pretty much that's what it is. So um, I suppose I could say that, why did I react that way? What am I believing about myself in this moment? Where did that belief come from? It's not a question we always ask, is it? But I think it's a question that I've been asking more and more of lately because I've been figuring out that actually that's not my belief. I've just gone along with it because I thought that was right. But when I sit and think about it, I've questioned it. Many of the beliefs, I suppose, shaping our lives aren't even ones we consciously choose either. Like I said, it's a program. So perhaps you've carried beliefs such as you're not good enough, I have to work hard to be worthy, I must put everyone else's needs before my own. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? I need approval. Yeah, always that. I guess over time, these beliefs can become part of our identity, to be honest. That's how we form our identity from a very young age. That's why, identity will be another episode. But um, the identity of who we are is not who we are. They're just versions of ourselves that we've been programmed and conditioned to be. It's crazy. So, yeah, one of the greatest gifts of awareness, to be honest, is realizing that a belief is simply a belief. And it's something I've definitely thought about on my walks and stuff that, yeah, it is just a belief. It doesn't mean it's true or it doesn't mean it's a lie. It's just a belief. It's just a thought. And it isn't always the truth, is it? So we have to question everything. And this is where I believe consciousness really starts to begin, when you're really becoming conscious of your own thoughts. And it's not about finding all the answers, guys, because we're never going to know all the answers because we don't know. We truly don't know. We can only go with what resonates with us. So, becoming curious enough to question what we've always believed, I think that's quite a hard one, if I'm being honest. Being pushed into question stuff that you've always believed can be quite frightening at times because you've got to face a different reality, a reality that your belief might not actually be the truth. It might be that actually I don't resonate with that anymore. And it's quite scary because it's like, well, where do I go from here? So, before we do finish today's episode, I would like to invite you into a short reflective practice. Okay. So I just like you to just, be where you are and just take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and just exhale slowly through your mouth. I just want you to give yourself just a moment of stillness. There is nowhere you need to be and nothing you need to do right now. There's nothing you need to fix. Just become present. Now, as you listen to these questions, I want you to notice what arises. And there's no right or wrong answers. Just bear in mind that it could be a physical reaction that you have as well, or an emotional. None of it is right or wrong. I just want you to observe it this time. So let's begin with this. Who are you when you remove the labels that you've been given throughout your life? The roles that you play, the expectations that you've carried, the identities that you've attached yourself to. Who remains? Now consider this. You are aware of your thoughts, but are you your thoughts? And if your thoughts come and go, what is it that remains aware of them? Just simply notice. How much of your life are you living on autopilot? What patterns, habits, or reactions continue to show up? What beliefs are shaping your reality right now? Are those beliefs truly yours? Or were they inherited from family, society, past experiences, or the expectations of others? And as you reflect on these questions, remember this: awareness is very powerful. The moment you become aware of a thought, a belief, or a pattern, you are creating space. Space to choose, space to respond differently, space for growth, healing, and transformation. You don't need all the answers. Perhaps your only task is to remain curious, to observe, to notice, and to continue exploring the deeper truth of who you are. And as we come to the end of today's episode, I invite you to carry one of these questions with you throughout this week and simply notice what arises. Noticing is often when the transformation begins. And until next time, take a gentle care of yourself and stay curious and keep walking your inner healing journey. Lots of love. Thank you for listening. If this episode resonated with you, please subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone that might benefit from this. Until next time, remember the answers are not outside of you. So stay curious, stay aware, and remember the answers are not outside of you. They never were. Have a magical day.